Good morning, everybody. So today we are going to make a worm farm. Spring is the perfect time to make a worm farm, to do some investigating, to learn more about worms and decomposition, and just to have a fun activity to do right in your backyard. So let's start with our good morning song, shall we? Oh, I got a dirty hand. I've been digging in the dirt. Good morning, dear earth. Good morning, dear sun. Good morning, dear resting stone, and the beasts on the run. Good morning, dear flowers, and the birds in the trees. Good morning to you, and good morning to me. Beautiful. So let's talk worm farm. Worm farms are just a tiny habitat for a worm that you can kind of control, and it gives you a great chance to observe these awesome little critters who usually live right in your backyard. So the steps to making a worm farm are super duper simple. You need a clear plastic container. Mine does have a lid, it's just over there. And some paper, some dirt, some worms, some water, and you're good to go. I did write a quick list for you guys, and I'll put this up on the internet for you as well so you can see. But just what I said: clear plastic container with a lid, newspaper or shredded paper. I'm using shredded paper today because I did not get the newspaper. Dirt, either from your garden or from your yard. Some water. You can put it in a spray bottle. I just have a water bottle, so I'm going to do some careful pouring. Your worms don't want to live in a pool. They just want to have some nice wet dirt and paper. And then your worms. So even though it's early spring, there are worms out in my garden. They are coming up from deep down under the soil, and it's the perfect time to start investigating them up close. So let's go through the steps real quick. You start with a layer of your shredded paper on the bottom. My paper is shredded pretty big, so make sure that you kind of get tiny little pieces. If you have a paper shredder at home, that's awesome possum. If you don't, make do with what you have. Now, once you have your shredded paper on the bottom, we're going to add some dirt. So sprinkle that in, get a nice healthy layer of dirt in your worm farm. As we know, worms love dirt. Gonna keep adding it. Now this is the dirt that I use in my garden. So we put our raked leaves and our other yard scraps in here to keep the soil nice and healthy. But you can scoop up any soil from your yard. You might need a shovel, or you could use your built-in shovel like I'm using. Totally depends on what you feel comfortable with. All right, I'm gonna add one more scoop of soil. We got a nice healthy layer, and then I'm gonna put on more scraps of paper. Now, the paper is gonna kind of help soak everything up, make sure things don't get too wet. But what's cool is you'll start to see them break down over time. So right now you can kind of see a distinct layering system going on. Pretty soon you won't see that. Then more dirt on top. Let me put my worm farm right in the middle so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, a little bit more dirt. Perfect. Keep going with that dirt. Oh, my dog's sitting right next to me, and he refuses to help me dig for dirt. He is all about digging anytime except for now. All right, a little bit of dirt. Let's add that in there. Okie dokie artichoke. Then some more paper. And this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna layer paper and dirt. Keep going with the paper and dirt until I mean, on my bin, I would go up to about this line. You don't want to fill the whole thing, but you want to have some nice, healthy layers of dirt and paper for your worms to live in. Now, once you have your dirt and your paper lined up, I'm going to put one more layer of dirt on top. Get some dirt scoops, use my shovel. Ooh, I'll put a couple leaves in there, why not? Okay, so once you have that, now you gotta find some worms. Now, I did find one worm in my garden, so I'm gonna show you this worm right now. Oh, it's moving. Can you see my little friend? Oh, you can't see me. Can you see my little friend? So this is one worm that I found in my garden. I'm gonna add this worm to the worm farm, and that way I can continue to observe it as it grows, as it adds to the soil. So I'm gonna add this friend to my worm garden. Bye, buddy. And I'm just gonna cover my friend with a little bit of soil. Now, when we're doing this activity, it is so important to be safe, be kind, and be gentle. These worms are living critters. When we handle them, we have a nice open palm. We don't want to squeeze or pull, and we just want to use our gentle hands when we're touching them and learning about them. Now, as you work on your worm farm, I do want to add, I did not use any water to spray down my soil, or to spray down my paper rather. My dirt here is really, really wet. So I'm gonna kind of let that soak into the paper, and then maybe tomorrow I'll check on it. If it's a little dry, I'll just give it a spritz with a water bottle. But if you don't have super wet soil, definitely wet down your paper as you go. That will help it break down, help it mush up, and it will be perfect for your worm farm. So those are the steps of making a worm farm. You're gonna put your lid on, poke some holes in the top, and keep it in a nice kind of dark, cool place. Try to think about where worms live and keep studying your worms. Maybe you want to look along the side and watch the tunnels that they build, or take it out, hold it gently on your hand and measure it, or watch it expand and contract and expand. Watch those muscles move. Maybe you want to put it on a black piece of paper and watch the tracks that it leaves behind. There are tons of cool science experiments to do with your worm farm. Now, before I go, the last thing I want to mention is feeding your worms. So this is a little mini compost system. So cool. You can sprinkle in little ripped up pieces of your fruit rinds. Maybe you ate an orange for breakfast. Rip up that rind into little pieces. Coffee grounds, eggshells. So you want to make sure you're feeding your little friends and giving them food from time to time. So have fun, guys. Go out there, make a worm farm, do some investigations, and I hope to see you soon. Ooh, 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 ooh. Bye, guys.